Hey, thanks for checking out Next Level Carpentry. I'm out here on the job, living the carpenter's dream, working on this kitchen remodel. This is the range hood I did in the last video showing you how to draw plans for this. It's got a plaster finish on it. The metal part underneath that has the fans for exhausting fumes off the range that'll go here is all installed. So you might get a kick out of seeing that, but the reason I'm doing this video is because this is the part of a remodel project where living the dream doesn't really qualify. And I'll show you what I mean when I turn the camera around here. And this is the reality of remodeling on a job site. Oftentimes I've built a containment tent here because I'm tearing out a wall here. There's windows and a door in there, and I've got to put in a 12-foot wide patio door in that opening, and I've got this tent put up here to do a little bit of containment for the dust. And I'm going to take you inside that tent in a minute to show you what I'm talking about here. This is an old structure, and part of the walls are done with sheetrock, part is done with plaster and lath, and the section behind this curtain here is done with the old wire lath and plaster. It's this stuff here. These are a few pieces I've torn off. It's this old lath. It's in good shape. This stuff worked well, kept the walls intact for probably 60 years or so. And it's a lot harder to tear off than sheetrock, but maybe not as bad as plaster and lath. But the whole reason for the video is that because it's a remodel job, I'm not tearing all the plaster and lath off. I've got to surgically remove part of it. And after all my years in construction, doing different things, I just today discovered one slick way for getting this done. So I'm going to take you inside that tent, and it's cramped quarters, the lighting's bad, my microphone's kind of acting up, but I want to show you how this little phase of the demolition on a remodel project looks in real life and in real time. Well, here we are. Welcome to my world. If this ain't living the dream, nothing is. I don't know how many times I said that in this video so far, but this is what it's like some days. What do they say? Some days you're the pigeon, some days you're the statue. Well, this kind of demolition is a little bit of one of those statue days, and I've got to remove this whole window, and I can't get the camera back here to give you a shot of it, but this window and the patio door, you can probably see there, comes out, putting a 12-foot wide Pella unit in here. Actually, it's 150 inches wide, and I've got to excise this stuff here so I can put in a new structural header, but this part here is part of the kitchen in there, so I don't want to disrupt this corner because we just got done finishing it. This patio door phase of the job came up afterwards, so I couldn't get this done before that. But nevertheless, I've got to slice this out of here, and if I just go ahead and pull this wire lath out of this corner, it's going to make a mess of this corner, and this corner stays when I've roughed in or when I've done the rough opening for the new patio door, so I don't want to disrupt that any more than necessary. And removing the plaster isn't that big of a deal. It's a dusty job, but with just with a hammer, with a claw hammer and a pry bar, I was able to pull the plaster off and expose that wire lath. But this this wall here was part of a previous remodel project, so this wire lath goes back in a ways behind there, and I don't want to just jerk it out of there, and I don't want a nasty old mess because I've got to re-sheetrock this and tape this corner to finish off this part of the space. So all I'm going to show you here after all this dialogue is the quickest, slickest way that I've ever found for cutting this lath out of here. Anybody that's ever worked around plaster and lath realize that a Sawzall just isn't in the cards. A typical way, somebody might use a multi-tool. I started with that, with a little abrasive blade. That was too slow. It didn't do well cutting this metal because this stuff is hardened metal. It's not soft like sheet metal for ductwork. It's kind of hardened stuff. So the next tool that comes to mind is an angle grinder. And an angle grinder is a great tool for this sort of thing. But with abrasive discs, I've got to reach back in this corner. This is a 5-inch grinder, and with a 5-inch disc, I can just barely cut that wire lath in the corner. But on an abrasive disc, as soon as the diameter shrinks a little bit, I can't do anything. I'd have to keep changing the disc. to cut that wire lath out of the corner. And on this project I've only got, maybe 1 or 2 corners like this, but I deployed a Graff Black metal cutting blade for this. I've had these blades for a while. I'll show you a close-up. There's a picture of what they look like when they're new. Alex from Graff Black approached me a while ago and said, hey, you want to test out these blades? Sure, send me a few. And I've used them on a couple things. I used them for a ductwork modification in a video a while back, but I just found out that this is such a slick use for this blade. It's not a segmented diamond blade. It's a continuous rim, but because it is diamond, the abrasive part is just on the very perimeter, and the disc doesn't reduce in size, not without a whole bunch of use. And it's for the thin metal on the wire lath, it's just the perfect solution. I'm going to suit up here with some PPE, enough for me, but probably not enough for everybody. And I'll show you what it looks like as I cut this out. There's going to be some dust, which is contained here, and I'll ventilate that out later. But I'm able to run the grinder at a slow speed and just work through there and get this out of here. There's some nails and stuff in there. And without a cameraman, this is going to be a little tough to shoot, but I think you'll get the idea how slick that blade is for this job in a hurry. Sensible people would be wearing gloves. Mine are over there. And a face shield wouldn't be a bad idea. But I am comfortable approaching this way. I'm going to get started with the camera back there, and then I'll try to do a close-up. I'm running the grinder at a very slow speed, which is kind of nice, kind of keep things under control. And here again, because it's not an abrasive disc, I'm not getting the smoke that I would from that blade wearing down. It's going to be kind of tough to see because all I've got for lighting on the job today is a flashlight. But I think you'll get an idea of the cutting action of this blade on this tough wire mesh. You can see so far that I'm getting a nice clean cut on that lath. I'll easily be able to re-sheetrock and tape this corner because everything's so neat in there. Notice that the diameter of the blade sticks far enough past just the face of the grinder here. If I turn it sideways, there's not enough depth of cut to get into that corner. So as long as I hold part of the grinder against the window jamb, I've got enough blade diameter to get back and cut in that corner. This is the best I'm going to be able to do for a close-up of the cutting action of this blade. I'll do another tear-off shot here so you can see how fast and clean that cut is. Just seconds, and I get that perfect cut. And here's a close-up of the last little section of this cut that I need to make. The mesh is doubled up here, so I'm going to take another pass. Obviously, I'm going to have to do some trimming in here with a chisel of some sort to cut that wire out where I can't reach while this windowsill is in the way. I've got to do some more cutting down in this area. I won't be able to get very much of it because this heat register has got to be taken out and the windowsill has to get taken out, but you'll be able to see how well this Graff Black blade works even in tight quarters like this with nasty materials in cramped quarters. And that is a pretty clean, pain-free cut compared to how tough it could be with other tools or other methods. Well guys, that's about all I wanted to show in this video. And apologize for the job site conditions, but I hope you can see the advantage of using this type of blade on this type of work. It's just dirty, nasty, ugly work. And so any tool that makes that go quicker and better for me, I'm a happy guy. Graff Black is not sponsoring this video. They did send me some of these discs for trying out, and if you can see the advantage, you like them, great. There's a link in the Amazon description if you can't find them anywhere else. It's a great tool. Thanks again, Alex, for sending the blades. It made my life just a little bit easier on a tough day like this. And to wrap up the video, I want to give a shout out to all the patrons on Patreon who help support Next Level Carpentry and minimize the amount of this kind of work I've got to do. I don't mind doing it, but I sure like putting together videos in the shop rather than getting down and dirty on jobs like this too often. But hey, it's all part of living the dream if you're a remodeling contractor or someone that just ends up getting backed into a corner on a demo project around your house. And I just wanted to share this little tip with you guys to show you that carpentry, next level carpentry, remodeling isn't always a world of glamour and glitz, but it does feel pretty good to tackle something like this and accomplish it out on a job site. So, as always, until next time, when things are a little cleaner and a little less grubby, thanks for watching. Makeup, wardrobe, I need some help. My hair's a mess. I got dust from that mask. I'm just a mess. So get in here. We got to get this spruced up before I wrap up this video. Talk about living the dream. I decided to include an exterior shot for all you end of the end people. Here's the wire lath I just cut off inside. The corner I was working on is right here on this window. I think you can probably see the containment tent inside there. The box is here. This is a 150-inch wide, standard height, 80.5-inch tall, 4-wide Pella patio door that goes in here. I've got to take out the window. This door goes to habitat. Got a header up in here, and I don't really have the wherewithal to do a full-on video of installing this, but it's going to be pretty interesting because in this section above this window there are actually vertical logs. This structure was built in 1920, if you can believe it or not. It's almost 100 years old, and so this is going to be kind of extensive surgery for this old girl, but it's going to come out great, and I thought you might get a kick out of seeing the before shot here, and somewhere along the way I'll try to remember and shoot after this door is in. But for now, thanks for sticking around to the end of the end of the end. It's about time for a Lintz Brothers pizza.